You see, I've been in relationships with women that I liked a lot, but I didn't respect. And this is the thing: them liking you, you have no control whether or not somebody likes you, right? You do have control whether or not you turn them off, and you do have control whether or not they respect you. Them liking you, them having affinity towards you, them having chemistry with you, you have no control over that reality. But what tends to disappoint is when you meet someone and they're a great person, but for some reason they let you get away with everything. I bet one time I was in a relationship with this girl a few years back, and I completely forgot her birthday. I'm not even kidding with you. Like, I completely forgot because a few days prior, I got extremely sick. Like, it was I'd never been so sick in my life. Long story short, I just completely forgot to say happy birthday. Like, that was my fault, and she didn't know I was sick, right? Like, that's like, I really messed up. Like, I'm like, and I was going out with her for about 3 months or so. So I'm like, fuck. I'm supposed to meet her today, and I didn't meet her. We ran into each other because she lived close by. She was like, hey, and I was expecting her to say something, to be mad, because I'm not gonna lie, it is disrespectful. It is disrespectful. You know, you've been with her for a while. She told you her birthday multiple times, so it was almost like me getting a hint. And she acted like nothing happened. She was like, "Hey, so when am I gonna see you?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, let's hang out tomorrow, sure." And I remember after that, I'm like, "Oh, like, I thought she was gonna say something." And the reason why I thought she was gonna say something is because I assume, I assume she's an assertive person. She's strong. She stands up for herself. And I like those qualities. I like that quality. But then I realized that it wasn't true. What was inside, and don't get me wrong, I still liked her. I still liked her. But then I started noticing. I'm like, okay, what else can I get away with? I started being a little bit more late to the dates. And don't get me wrong, it's not that I was just downright being disrespectful. It's just that you don't have that sense of urgency no more. I remember naturally my romanticism went down. Like, and I always got the sense that she just wasn't gonna say something, and a part of me would do things so that she could say something, like, so that she could stand up for herself. And months went by, and it was, ladies and gentlemen, Father Alex is not a mean person. You know what I'm saying? Disrespectful stuff that I'm talking about is being late. It's, for example, what else? Like, being late. Or, for example, when she would come over, I wouldn't initiate physical contact. Like, I just knew she was gonna initiate it. So like, there was no effort on my part. And usually I put a lot of effort. Usually I'm the one who's very thoughtful about that kind of stuff. But the thing, what I wanted from her was for her to just say something. And there were times when she would say, like, one time we were supposed to go out for dinner, and she was like, "Hey, where do you want to go?" And I just forgot to respond to that. And we were gonna go out. We were gonna go out 2 days from that day. And I was like, "Hey, so where do you want to go for dinner today? What time we meet for dinner?" I asked her. She was like, "Not. I thought we weren't going because you just didn't respond." And I'm like, "What? Like, what do you mean I just didn't respond?" And I looked at the message. I'm like, "Oh, I didn't respond." But then we had a complete conversation. I'm like, "But why didn't you say something?" She was like, "Well, I just assumed your silence was just a no." I'm like, I was like, look, let's have a talk, man. Look, my love, listen to me, man. Look. I understand. I could be a little. I don't think I'm intimidating, but I understand. I'm a very willful person. I get it, but listen, you gotta say something. Like, if you think I'm not, if I didn't respond to something, don't just assume. Say something. You gotta speak up sometimes. I even told her, I was like, look, man, like, you gotta speak up. I bet sometimes you're not happy. I bet sometimes I say things that you don't like. You gotta say something. you know? And then she was like, okay, I'll try. And I'm like, what do you mean you fuck? In my mind, I'm like, bitch, what the fuck do you mean you'll try? Like, is this how you, in my mind, is this how you are in most relationships? And a few months later, like, I left because I'm like, okay, look, man, this girl is great, but it's like, there's no backbone. There's no backbone, you know? And it was one of those relationships where I sort of like, I was like I could literally take advantage of this girl and she just won't say something, you know? And in this occasion, what she should have done, she should have called me out on my bullshit. Cause everyone is gonna disrespect everyone at one point or another, consciously or unconsciously. And sometimes some partners see you and say, yo, in their minds, they think you're weak because they can sense that you don't want to leave, that you want to be there no matter what. And this inspires disrespect. Sometimes people act out and disrespect you so that you could prove to them that you're not weak. And the reason why is because most likely you're sending them signs of weakness. You're doing something that's communicating to them that they could take advantage of you. Nobody wants a weak partner. Only manipulators and narcissists want a partner who doesn't speak up, who doesn't stand up for themselves. Remember, generally speaking, when somebody doesn't know us, we usually have an outward appearance that is often exaggerated and deceptive, right? This outward appearance is the appearance of confidence and self-esteem. But what happens is that once they get to know you, they can look underneath what supports that. And they could look underneath the center of gravity and see the hub of all power and movement within you. And they'll be able to see through you because they'll notice that you can never speak up. They'll notice you're too meek. You're too submissive. You don't stand up for yourself. You hold in your anger. Your partner notices that and senses your weakness. And it's not that, listen to me, it's not cute. To some people, any healthy partner will want you to show some fangs. Sometimes if somebody who really likes you needs to see you leave so that they can respect you. You've gone so far. You've allowed them to disrespect you so much that the only way for them to actually respect you is for you to leave. There's been times when I've been in a very similar situation like this and the woman left, right? And people, I'm not an evil person. I'm just saying that like anybody, if you let somebody get away with disrespect when they know they disrespected you and you don't say something, they're naturally not going to respect you. It's like working at a job and being late and expecting them to say something and they don't say something. What do you think is going to happen? You're going to be late again. They need consequences. They need to see you leave so that they can know that you've grown. They need to see you walk away so that they can know, okay, you know what? I have a strong partner. I want this person. I don't have a little bitch that lets me walk over them. Because your emotional resilience matters when it comes to, being a good partner. Nobody wants a partner they could, walk over. Because when you have a kid with them, that means your kid is going to walk over them. If you're a man and you're easily walked over by your woman, what is she going to think when a man is trying to hurt her? What are you going to do? Like, all of those things matter. Having boundaries and being willing to walk away says a lot about your character. It just says a lot about them. Like, for example, like I told you guys how I was talking to this girl and she was always late. And, at first I was like, okay, what the fuck is wrong with this girl? And then after like a few dates, we were supposed to meet up and then she just didn't respond. And I'm like, okay, Alexa, look, don't text me no more. I told her that. And a few months later, she texted me. She was like, hey, I'm so sorry about that. I know I didn't appreciate your time. I didn't mean to do that. I'm like, look, I'm not, thank you, but I don't want to deal with you. This is how you see me. I don't want to deal with you, but thanks for the apology. And she was like, oh, wow, toxic. I like that. Let's hang out. I'm like, I swear to God. I swear to God. I looked at my phone. This was literally my face when I saw that. I'm like, what? You know? And this is how some people really are. They wanna test your strength. People wanna test your strength to see whether or not you're their partner. Niceness, too much kindness, too much forgiveness pushes people away. I am telling you, man, you could go for, you could do more. You make more mistakes being too kind versus being a little bit rough around the edges. You want to develop the reputation of being difficult, of being difficult when someone's being difficult with you. You want to develop the reputation of being willing to destroy the whole relationship if you're not getting your way. Not in a toxic way, but that's just how that works, people. Like, too many people want respect without the work that it takes to get respect. Too many people want respect without leaving, without standing up, without risking losing someone. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. Let's watch this. This is from the 33 Strategies of War.
Threatening presence. Deterrence strategies. The best way to fight off aggressors is to keep them from attacking you in the first place. To accomplish this, you must create the impression of being more powerful than you are.
And that usually is from appearances, from your nonverbal cues, from the way you walk, from the way you talk, and even the stories you tell of situations when you walked away. It's very important to tell people your victories of walking away, your victories of not standing up for bullshit when you first meet them, so that you can set the tone.
Build up a reputation. You're a little crazy. Fighting you is not worth it. You take your enemies with you when you lose. Create this reputation and make it credible with a few impressively violent acts.
And those impressively violent acts is not committing a felony, ladies and gentlemen. It's when people disrespect you, which will happen, you just walk away. You just stop texting. You get petty. You get petty. If they're 40 minutes late on the date, like I was, I was this one girl last week, man. She was supposed to come meet me, right? And I got there early, and it took her 45 minutes to get on to meet up to meet on a date. After the 40th minute, I left. She was like, "Hey, I'm here." I left. You want to know why? Because every single time a woman is that late, I'm telling you, in my life experience, this woman, it never worked out. There was a lack of complete disrespect. And your rational mind will say, okay, it's no big deal. They're just late. But listen to me, it's a test. Some people see you and they say, oh, I'm better than you. They literally think that I'm better than you. They look down upon you, especially if they're richer than you or from a different. I was gonna say different planet. They look down on you, and this is how they show you that they look down on you, through those little passive aggressive disrespect that don't seem like disrespect, but is disrespect. Disrespect that they could easily gaslight you for saying, well, you're making a big deal out of it. Fuck that shit. I don't give a fuck. If they start gaslighting you, then that's a red flag. You should walk away. Okay.
Uncertainty is sometimes better than overt threat. If your opponents are never sure what messing with you will cost, they will not want to find out. Play on people's natural fears and anxieties to make them think twice.
Mm-hmm.
Reverse intimidation.
This is honestly one of my favorite chapters.
Inevitably in life, you will find yourself facing people who are more aggressive than you are. Crafty, ruthless people who are determined to get what they want. Fighting them head on is generally foolish. Fighting is what they are good at, and they are unscrupulous to boot. You will probably lose. Trying to fend them off by giving them part of what they are after, or otherwise pleasing or appeasing them, is a recipe for disaster.
So this is pretty much when you deal with people who are pretty disrespectful towards you. Trying to please them, trying to fight them will not work. The key to these people is to prevent the problem before it starts. Too many people are trying to gain people's respect. What I tell them is, fuck that. Leave everyone that don't respect you and start new. And make sure that each person that you meet, they know that you are somebody who's willing to walk away. That will give you more results than trying to win over people who already see you and think that you're pretty much just something they walk over.
You are only showing your weakness, inviting more threats and attacks. But giving in completely, surrendering without a fight, hands them the easy victory they crave and makes you resentful and bitter. It can also become a bad habit, the path of least resistance in dealing with difficult situations.
And this is the problem. That girl that I was telling you about, most likely, she was punished for standing up. She lost maybe a partner because she stood up. And in her mind, the way to be loved and to stay loved is to stay quiet. Listen to me, man. There are some people who really want to respect you, but you don't give them a reason to respect you. It is completely your fault that they don't respect you. It is completely your fault that they don't treat you with the love and kindness you feel like you deserve. And this is under your control. And it comes down to you being sick and tired of the bullshit and finally speaking up. You'd be surprised how many people change their behavior by you just changing your tone of voice. You showing them your anger. You showing them your resentment, your bitterness. You being willing to walk away. Some people will even say, literally, some people will say, thank you. Thank you. They will literally say that. It's like kids who have parents who are, I was going to say pussies, but who are parents who are passive. The kids wish they had a parent that punished them. They wish they had a parent that showed them love through punishing. Some kids really do say that. And they act out in the hopes that their parents can finally stand up to them.
Instead of trying to avoid conflict or whining about the injustice of it all, consider an option developed over the centuries by military leaders and strategists to deal with violent and acquisitive neighbors: reverse intimidation. This art of deterrence rests on three basic facts about war.
I always talk about this.
And human nature. First, people are more likely to attack you if they see you as weak or vulnerable. Second, they cannot know for sure that you're weak. They depend on the signs you give out through your behavior, both present and past. Third, they are after easy victories, quick and bloodless. That is why they prey on the vulnerable and weak. Deterrence is simply a matter of turning this dynamic around, altering any perception of yourself as weak and naive, and sending the message that battle with you will not be as easy as they had thought.
Some people just want to see you angry. Some people just want to see you finally stand up for them, stand up to them. And, you know, again, the point of this message is not to be a bunch of Terminators out there, right? But to just realize that you're wrong about human nature. Humans respect people only when there's an underlying tension, meaning they don't want to see your bad side. They don't want to see your angry side. And so you keep the peace through strength. But when you're trying to be this kumbaya, lovey-dovey, I'll forgive everything you do, then you're just going to inspire disrespect, man. I'm telling you, man. And people don't like that. They don't like being around people they don't respect. Only narcissists do. So find out all of those relationships that you have, even with friendships, that they don't really respect your time. They don't really respect your opinion. And even those relationships that you're in, and just leave them. Just leave. Those who really like you, those who really liked you and wanted to respect you, they'll come back and say, you know what, my fault. I'm glad you did that. You were right. I'll make sure not to do that again. I'm telling you, man, your relationships will get better once you start cutting all of those negative relationships. The ones that are meant to be will come back with changed behavior, and then they'll stay respectful towards you. This is how you do it, man. All right? All right, if you guys enjoy these videos about stoicism, dating, relationships, self-help, moving up in life, I would recommend you guys check out some of my courses that I have for sale. These courses are courses for men and women. For example, Nice Girl, Nice Guy is a course about how to become more assertive. Natural Chemistry is a course for women that I have on how to develop strong relationships. Dark Game is a controversial course that I have for guys on how to attract women in their life and keep it. It's not as dark as it seems, but we do talk about some dark psychology in here. Psychological Game of Attraction is a course that we made for women who are single. And as you see, we have a course about how to develop charisma, emotional mastery, which is a course about how to develop a meditation practice and how to improve your emotional life, to become more resilient, to not let rejection hit you so hard, to be able to bounce back from failure. I have a course called Nice Guy, which is a course for guys who are single and guys who want to be able to develop more assertiveness training, right? Most of these courses come at $99. And there you could also purchase the bundle where you guys can purchase all of the courses in one go at a discounted rate, right? We have a bundle for women and a bundle for men. So click in the description down below to check them out. You could browse around and see the courses that you like. And if you don't like them, you guys can ask for a 30-day money back guarantee and I'll give you guys the money back, okay? And in fact, we actually have a new one for women right now we're developing. It's called The Feminine Woman. So if you're a woman watching, this course is specifically to help women become more feminine, to embrace their feminine while embracing their masculine energy. And I'm actually going to make a course for that, like that for men, which is called a Masculine Man, which is a course on how to develop masculinity and develop masculine energy, to attract women in your life, to attract business success in your life, to be able to be better socializing, to read people better. It's truly an all-around course. So if you guys want to check out those courses, click on the description down below where it says purchase the courses, and I'll see you guys inside. Bye-bye.